Good day and welcome to another installment of Elder Scrolls V Leveling Up Quick Abilities. This one is focused on SPEECHCRAFT. You will be located in the town of Riften at the Blackbriar Meadery as illustrated here. This will allow for a rapid increase in one's SPEECHCRAFT, as you shall see inside.
I presume you're bothering me for a good reason. What in the name of oblivion do you want?
You speak with this gentleman here, Jurgen.
Purest brew in all of Skyrim.
He is going to help you power level your SPEECHCRAFT.
We serve only the best here. Blackbriar meat. Yes? She's an absolute pleasure to work for. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my fellow meadery workers just how lucky we are to be working for such a charitable family.
And what you want to do is you want to come on, get the truth off your chest, persuade type of thing. And you want to do this in a repetitious manner of fashion. And this will garner you increased SPEECHCRAFT rewards. We'll show you basically how this works.
Okay, look, if I'm just take my advice and just get out of Riften as soon as you can. She's an absolute pleasure to work for. In fact, I almost feel. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my fellow. Okay, just take my advice and just get out of Riften. She's an absolute. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my fellow meadery workers. Okay, look, I'm the fourth. Just take my advice and just get out of Riften as soon as you can. She's an absolute. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my fellow. Okay, look, if I'm the fourth person to. Just take my advice and just get out of. She's an absolute pleasure. Why, just this last week I was commenting. Okay, look, if I'm the fourth. Just take my advice and just get out of Riften. She's an absolute pleasure to. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my. Okay, look, I'm the fourth. Just take my advice and just get out of Riften. She's an absolute pleasure. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my. Okay, look, I'm the fourth. Just take my advice and just get out of Riften. She's an absolute pleasure. Why, just this last week I was commenting to my. Okay, look, if I'm the fourth. Just take my advice and just get out of Riften as soon as you can. Come back and see it.
As you can see here, this is a highly effective technique to maneuvering one's SPEECHCRAFT up at a most expedited rate. I will spare you the boring details of me clicking, and we'll give you excerpts about how it actually goes down the road. Once again, here we are, moving quite along.
Okay, look, just take my advice.
It just takes a repeated amount of clicks. You're still going to be increasing your SPEECHCRAFT, expedited rates,
okay, look,
also leveling up.
She's an absolute.
Very simple.
Okay, look, just take my advice. She's an absolute. Why, just this last week I was. Okay, just take my advice. She's an absolute. Why, just this last week I was. Okay, look, just take my advice. She's an absolute. Why, just this last week I was. Okay, look, just take my advice. She's an absolute. Why, just this last week I was. Okay, look, just take my advice.
Okay, once again, we'll give you a brief break and we'll come back in a little bit.
To my fellow Okay, look,
And once again, we're still moving forward with this.
Why, just this last week
it takes a little bit of time, but it is worth it.
My advice.
SPEECHCRAFT will be leveled up in its entirety with a numerous amount of clicks here. And also, as you can see, there is level progression and all the other good stuff that is associated with skill progression.
Just take my advice.
So,
she's an absolute.
Bottom line,
just this last week
hang in there. Take a couple minutes aside.
She's an
keep
absolute.
clicking.
Why, just this last week I was. Okay, look.
You'll get it done.
Just take my advice. She's an absolute. She's an absolute.
Still fighting the good fight. We're getting quite a bit closer to the goal there.
She's an absolute. Why just?
At this point, about 12 minutes
just
in.
Take my advice.
So I mean, it does take a little bit of time. But
I'm just take my advice.
Depends on your personality and what you want to do with it.
Okay, look.
You will get considerable experience from this, and your SPEECHCRAFT will be completely maxed out.
She's an
And you will level up as well. Perk points.
If I'm caught, trouble family.
Alright, we're getting there.
I'm
pretty much
my advice.
Almost up to 100.
Why just this last week?
A little more
look.
fortitude, and we will ascertain the goal.
Okay, look. If I'm I'm just take my advice. She's an absolute.
Alright, we're in the closing moments here where we're counting down.
Just take my advice. She's an absolute. Why just this last week? Okay, look. Just take my advice. She's an absolute. Why just this last week I was. Okay, look.
In its entirety,
She's an absolute.
it took me approximately 15 minutes, and I
just take my advice.
Did some video editing during that actual
just take
time.
My advice.
So
she's an absolute. Why just this last week?
You could have gotten it done a lot quicker if you weren't screwing around with video programs and what have you.
She's an absolute. Why just this last week I was
very viable. Something you should really consider.
She's an absolute. Why just this last week I was commenting. Okay, look. If I'm caught saying anything bad about the meadery or the family, I'm a dead man. I'm the 4th person to work the tasting counter in the last year. The last 3 are at the bottom of Lake Honrik. Just take my advice, and just get out of Riften as soon as you can.
Well, enjoy. I hope this helps everybody get their SPEECHCRAFT up to a viable level. In addition to that, it should also help unlock a bunch of skill points and what have you.
Come back and see us again.
Personally, for me, as it stands now, I've increased 6 perk points, and I have a number of different things that I can, in fact, choose from here. So, well, actually, you got 7 out of it. So, pretty good grind. Put in a little time, get a good reward, type of thing. So, hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope it helps everybody to level everything up. And once again, as always, be well. And we are still here.
Why just this last week I was
making sure that this is going through to entire fruition.
She's an absolute. Why just this last week?
Takes a little bit of time. At this point, I'm about 10 minutes in, and SPEECHCRAFT is
why
81.
just this last week I was.
Level progression has gone up considerably.
She's an absolute.
So
why just this
these
last
are things
week
to take into account.
Okay, look. Just take my advice. She's an absolute pleasure. Why just this